One way of composing policies is to perform both operations simultaneously. For example, one might want to forward traffic but also count how much traffic is being forwarded. Both of those operations can be performed in parallel. Another way of composing policies is in sequence. Sequential composition performs one operation, then the next. For example, we might want to implement a firewall, and whatever traffic makes it through the firewall might then be subjected to the switching policy. One example of sequential composition might be a load balancer. In this example, a policy might take some traffic coming from half of the source IP addresses and rewrite that to one server replica, and take the other half of the traffic and rewrite it to the other replica. After the load balancer rewrites the destination IP address, we need a routing module to forward the traffic out the appropriate port on the switch. In this case, we've used sequential composition to first apply a load balance policy that rewrites the destination IP address based on the source IP address where the traffic is coming from, and sequentially apply a routing policy that forwards the traffic out the appropriate port depending on the resulting destination IP address after that rewrite has taken place. Notice that we can use predicates to specify which traffic traverses which modules. Those predicates can apply specific actions based on things like the input port and the packet header fields. The ability to compose policies in this fashion allows each module to partially specify functionality without having to write the policy for the entire network. This leaves some flexibility so that one module can implement a small bit of the network function, leaving some functions for other modules. This also allows for module reuse, since a module need not be tied to a particular network setting. For example, in this particular example where we've applied a load balancer followed by routing, the load balancer spreads traffic across the replicas without regard to the underlying network paths that traffic takes once those destination IP addresses are rewritten. In summary, we've covered two concepts. One is the notion of a northbound API, which sits on top of an SDN controller and provides and exposes higher-level abstractions that allows the operator or programmer to write policies without regard to how OpenFlow rules eventually get installed. We've also talked about two different composition operators, parallel composition and sequential composition, which specify how individual simpler policies can be composed to implement more complex network applications, thus allowing different SDN control programs to independently perform tasks on the same traffic.